Let me hear you loud, proud. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Wake up. No time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices. We gon' deal with the issues. What do you really want, what they
Welcome to Neutral Voices. I'm Dr. V, and this is In Depth, where we dig deep in the trenches of what matters. And tonight, I don't know if this is a good topic or a bad topic, but we're talking about stereotypes. Stereotyping, right, because it's really happening today.
Right.
I believe everybody on this panel has been stereotyped and has been doing a little stereotyping.
I would agree.
Hang out with us and join in the conversation. Maybe you want to send us a message or something on Facebook, social media. Reach out. We would love to hear from you regarding stereotypes. So with that, I do want to get into this definition because I had two definitions. And so I thought, let me do stereotypes and then stereotyping. Okay. So stereotypes, definition. I don't want to miss anything because you know how I know what that is, right, but I want to make sure we are all on the same page. Social perception of an individual in terms of membership or physical attributes. Mm-hmm. It is a generalization that is made about a group and then attributed to the members of that group.
Right.
Just put us all in one pot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now listen to stereotyping. Stereotyping, this gets a little lengthy, is a state or isolated phenomenon. It is a dynamic involving a process influenced by historical, physiological, cultural, and social factors. Let that sink in. Its origins are deeply rooted or intertwined in the human propensity to categorize societal power dynamics and the ways information is transmitted and received across generations. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Because I had to read it like a couple times. I was like, wow, because I was processing what it really is when it's in action.
Right. And I want you to keep your definitions close because I'm going to let the conversation flow.
Yes.
But I'm going to bring something to you, and we're going to talk about stereotyping in today's society.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why, as I was looking at this, especially, thinking about the power dynamics and how it is used, I'm thinking, yeah, we need to know both of them. So with that being said, and so we can engage in this nice conversation. Have you been stereotyped lately?
I would say yes.
In what way?
Many different ways. One is because I'm a social worker. And when you hear social workers, they don't think that there's a lot of men social workers first and foremost, but then they don't think that there's black men social workers. So when people see me, they be like, it's also, I've heard this on the set before, that the way I speak is not like, I don't speak like a black person. Like I call people on the phone and they be like, I thought I was talking to a white guy. I was like, no, you were talking to me. So it's just, those are two things that I get stereotyped about a lot.
Hold up. We're going to put a pause in that one for real.
Yes.
So just for sake of, because I wanted to get into the stereotypes that we hate the most, that is one. Right. And so because you mentioned that, I want to talk about that real quick. So you said people think when they hear you talking that you're a white person.
Yes.
Do you take that as a compliment or an insult?
It depends on who says it.
Wow.
Because some
question mark.
No,
yeah, because I would take it as an insult.
And I'm gonna say that because a lot of our people, when they say it to me, it's meant as an insult. Now, if you've never met me and you say it, I just brush it off.
I don't think if our people say that, what messes me up is sometimes, and y'all, admit the truth, right? Help me out. Sometimes people say that. What makes me mad is they're trying to say you sound proper.
That's true.
So
too.
who told them that, one, all white people talk proper, or
Correct.
two, that all black people talk?
Ebonics are speaking.
They speak
Yeah.
Ebonics.
Yeah,
Yes.
the opposite.
Yes.
So I'm saying that's what. So it concerns me.
Yes.
So it's more
when
like
I
a
hear that.
societal thing.
Yeah, it's a societal
It's
thing.
a societal
It's a
thing.
societal
I mean,
thing.
when you look at a brother, first thing you don't know if I have a doctor's degree or a bachelor's degree or if I got a GED.
You say when you walk in with your hoodie,
I mean, my
or
sweatsuit on,
however you're
Right.
dressed,
However
this is
you
what
dress,
somebody's
yes.
thinking.
But then the funny part about it, I know people that's well off dress like a bump.
Yes.
Definitely
So
downplaying.
So
the
at
money.
this point, do you? Oh, he ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. But if I walk in there, a person walk in there with a 3-piece tailored suit on, oh, that's the man right
Yeah,
there.
you think he got
And
money.
yeah,
he probably
stature.
he,
And
he-
all the way off.
Right.
He barely making
Probably
the
broke his
payment.
one in the place.
Yeah, so it's
Been there, done that.
all the way around. I mean, people stereotype a person saying, okay, I got a high school diploma.
Mm.
You got a master's degree.
Right.
Just because you have a master's degree, don't think I'm not as smart as,
Correct.
and feel to
Definitely.
realize
Correct.
just because he got a master, I'm smarter than you, and you got a master's degree.
Yes.
So it's just,
Right.
it goes back and forth where it's all about how people look at you. But the main thing about stereotyping, to me, is how you look at yourself.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So with that, just because I don't want to leave you out there by yourself with your last, I'll say negative
Right.
stereotyping, even though you said it could go either way. So, when was the last time, if you can recall, that you
Every day.
were
Every
stereotyped?
day. I get stereotyped every day at work. Period.
Just doing what? Somebody
just from my conversation or the way that I talk, and just because I don't talk, that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
his complexion.
Yeah, my complexion. I mean, just because I don't sit and I work around a bunch of
Other people.
white people.
Yes.
Okay, white
So I'm just gonna be honest.
people.
And
Okay.
they have a stereotype, and what they fail to realize until I start having a real conversation with them.
Right.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
just a dumb black guy.
yeah.
No, I feel you. I feel
And
you.
it's
You work
just-
in a factory or industrial environment.
Yeah,
You're only there because that's the only job you can have. You're
Yeah.
a dumb black guy. You're
not
not
knowing,
educated.
not knowing that I do this, and this.
Right.
And then once they find out I do other things, then come to that place.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know you. Oh, I seen your podcast. Oh, I didn't know you.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, guess what? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you have your own thought process.
Right.
Because I don't know who I am. I could care less if you know who I am.
Right.
I could care less how you feel about yourself. Feel about me. Because the thing about when you're going to get stereotyped, hands down. I'm driving down the street. I'm a black guy. Let me have a hat on. I'm a thug.
You drive a nice car. You're a drug dealer.
I'm a drug dealer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's too bad. So
yeah, and
so
it's bad to be sitting like that.
it is, but so there's reasons. I'm not going to justify any of them, but so let me just say this real quick. Have you heard of the theories of stereotype, the formation, and how all of that comes about? So let me just give it to you real quick. So in a reasoning sense,
Okay.
so it says that our world is so complex, and we know it, very complex, that it presents an overabundance of information, things that we need to know. And because of that, stereotyping kind of simplifies the social world so that we can quickly connect and identify. So I see you with your hoodie or your sagging pants, the new costume that they call YN. I see you dressed as a YN.
I like that. Hip to lingo. I like that. Doc.
I'm just
Go
saying,
ahead.
I see you. And so just so I don't have to try to figure it out and think too deep, I just pull up what has been downloaded generationally
Right.
or from the house, family, mom, dad, whoever, it's been downloaded. And I know how to identify you quickly. So I don't have time to try to figure out too much stuff because the world is so complex and we already trying to learn all this other information. I don't need to waste my time learning these things. So we just put it in a box to simplify all cultures.
I think
not
that's-
just blacks.
Yeah, but
all
I think
cultures.
that's a cop out kind of way of thinking that just says, just because somebody has or is or looks that is how they are, and I don't believe that just because one of them, and it's a stereotype that everybody think is a compliment that all Asians are good at math. If that's not,
Do you know? And you know some personally that
Yes, but I'm saying-
failing math.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that is
General
that
math.
people say that thinking that they're giving that
That's true.
culture, that race, that ethnicity a compliment, but
Yeah.
it's steeped in just
I'm glad you said that.
racist
so,
thought.
So let's just put some out there. Some of the ones that you have heard that just kind of make your stomach hurt. You like, oh my God.
really make my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this for later in the conversation,
Uh-oh.
but E hit on it too. He fits the description.
Man, do I fit the description?
Like that's it.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna
Then
put
you-
like
what
He
more do
fits
you have
the
to say?
description.
Yeah,
He fits the description.
I'm black male. I got on a t-shirt and I got on jeans. It don't matter what color jeans the person can have on some orange jeans, but I have on jeans and I have on a t-shirt and I'm black. There he go, right there.
And that's a stereotype because when you think of the description, it's never a descriptive black man that they describe. He's a black man between this height and this height. He's a black man between this weight and this weight. He's a black man wearing this color or that color. So, fitting the description, I mean, that is one of the
Big
most
fit
used.
the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stereotypes.
What's another one? Anything come to mind for you?
I got one for women.
Okay. Say it right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to say it properly.
Be careful.
Yeah.
While you
A
get
female that has a Trump has a tattoo on her lower back.
Oh.
Trump stamp.
Oh,
Yes.
I always wanted one of those. That's the reason I didn't get it. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
But I mean,
that,
But I'm
that
sure
she's
somebody was thinking that.
yeah, that she's a thought, and then it's just like
Ooh, and
just
hold
because a
on.
person have a tattoo in certain spots, I mean, it just go for black men. Once again, I got 3 or 4 tattoos.
Are they black?
I'm a thug. Something you can see my tattoos.
No.
I mean,
I'm saying because people that go to prison,
Yes.
usually that's what they have black tattoos. So nowadays, some people actually get black tattoos because they like black tattoos. So
I mean,
it's
I
a
don't have no
stereotype to
color
think
like that.
that
She's been
everybody that
culturally-
has a black tat,
you've been to jail.
you've been to jail.
Some incarceration, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have your different. Well, you have difference between out of jail tattoos and in jail tattoos. You can tell the difference.
Okay, but you probably can difference. I don't know. I didn't know there was a difference. So looking at them, I'm just put them all in the same box.
So you stereotype
Now-
a
So
whole
you
lot,
stereotype-
bro.
No,
Well,
I'm
you
getting.
stereotyping on.
You all
No.
stereotype
I'm
on
getting ready to
autopilot.
tell you.
Yeah.
No,
You got it on autopilot.
I'm getting ready to tell you that's what some people would think, which leads me to saying this. So listen to this. Stereotypes. Have you ever heard of this? Which I'm gonna come back to some more of them. We can talk about some more, but that they're actually like half truths. Like, watch this. Lies often assume the position of half truths, become stereotypes.
Right.
So watch this. Here's the differences: stereotypes, archetypes, and then antitypes.
Okay.
Process.
I'm with you.
Okay. Stereotypes, we just talked about it. The slanted truth.
Right.
Archetypes are black people's attempt to set the record straight.
Gotcha.
You're trying to fix it. So you're building another.
Right.
Right. And then antitypes is when they reverse it.
Right.
So whether they live in reverse or they speaking totally against it, to make sure you understand the difference. And this is not a stereotype, but this is what it is.
Right.
So the nuance. So the richer black, and they putting a spin on it. Antitypes, more sophisticated.
Right.
Right. Okay. So with
So
that,
that means once I get up, I can't no more be the N word. I got to move out to the suburbs and speak.
well,
I mean,
you
that's the
you
stereotypes that we think,
purposely
yes.
want to live against it.
Right.
So one of the questions I ask is, why do some of us choose to live in a stereotype? So
That's true.
as we talked about different stereotypes, and you mentioned one,
Yeah.
mentioned one. Somebody on set talked about women that wear red lipstick
Right.
are loose.
Right.
That was one that they heard before. One of the ones that I don't like, Black people are lazy. I know how hard I work
Right.
and
Right.
have been working all my life. So it's like, okay, we need to definitely get rid of that. Or that Black women are bossy, biatches
Yes.
with bonnets.
Well,
Wait a minute.
Well, hold on.
I'm with you on this one. I'm with you on this one.
Now-
Because y'all are bossy now. You can't sit there. There ain't no
Okay.
stereotype. That's the truth.
That's the half. You say
See,
half.
okay.
That's the half right there.
No, because you see now what y'all doing, y'all putting all.
No, I said that's
wait,
the half.
I said Black women. All Black women, first of all, may not even own a bonnet.
That's true.
Well, we ain't talking about the bonnet part and the
What?
BI, but as the first one,
I was breaking them all down.
You telling me J-Lo is not bossy? You don't look at her as a bossy
Well-
chick, and
well-
Jill is not boss. Some of these women, different cultures.
In how you,
I'm just
how you
saying,
determine,
and it's a good bossy.
and how you determine the word boss.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
saying
No,
it's
it's
a
not.
good
Yes,
bossy.
no, it's not.
And the B word within itself is a stereotype.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of women take that as a moniker, just like the N word. A lot of young Black men, and, they take those as monikers and they
Yeah,
use those stereotypes.
that's why I need you
and,
here.
And that's why I say you take that half. But no, you said there's half. And in every culture, yes, they might be
But
a
wait,
minute.
it may not be half, but that's what they say.
Right, right.
A
I was gonna say,
stereotype
yeah,
is half truths. But is that true?
Right. And I'm going to say there might be a minute premise to, the truth in there, but I'm not saying it is. Now, and I'm going to tell you, because I work across the street. And you will see, and I'm not just going to say Black women, but you see a lot of women. You see them in pajama pants, you see them in bonnets, and I mean, we take that stereotype and we go and we exemplify it, just like the thug, the hustler. We take those stereotypes and think that they're badges of honor, and we tend to try to prove it wrong and live indifferent to it.
Anti-type.
Many of us embrace those stereotypes and we accept those stereotypes. Like Black kids are not educated. And
Lies.
That's
the
true.
truth.
But a lot of kids, they were told that they weren't going to be anything because of where they lived or how they were, with the family they come from. So instead of them living against that, and I'm saying a majority of them, and there's plenty of them that lived against it, but there's a great number of them that embraced that fell into that accepted that.
I can agree and disagree, because we so busy looking at the kids that lived in that moment, and we say it's a great multitude of kids that stayed in that moment, but it's even a greater multitude that didn't stay in that moment. So we can't and that's crazy that you say that, because it's like, do you not know how many Black millionaires in the United States,
There's a lot.
in the world,
Yes.
versus poor kids and poor people. So let's look at the mass majority of things that. This is one of the stereotypes that you talked about. I got mines and bounce.
What you mean?
I come up, so I can't.
I can't be around
Okay.
y'all no more. And see, that's one thing that I don't like about our culture, because
Is that our culture, or are you stereotyping?
it's not, no. I'm speaking
There's
from
an element of truth in that.
Yeah.
That's what he's
I'm
saying.
I know. That's
I'm speaking from
trying to be
within.
clear. Okay.
From within.
Okay.
So I'm not in nobody else's stadium. I'm in our
Gotcha.
stadium.
I got you.
So instead of saying I got mine and going about my business, let's say I got mine to stay here and let's build up.
Right.
And people say this is I'm stereotyping, but we get ours and cut out.
Some of us.
Some of us, yes.
Some
some
of
of
I mean,
us.
a lot of people, a lot of us get ours. We out.
But then again, I'm a as you counted, because last night I hope everybody watched this show, but well, as I rewatched it, it brought me. They mentioned some things in one of the stereotypes, and we say it, we look at it, and there's some elements of truth to it. It's not for everybody, but there's elements of truth. And you were talking about stereotypes and how they get their origin. It's that Black people can't work together. Now, there's an element of truth to that. I'm not saying that's the absolute truth.
Yeah.
There's an element of truth to that. But last night, I watched two brothers sit and talk about their business and their business venture. And they're two Black men, and they've been in business for 14 years.
Yes.
And even after we talked to them, after they got a set, they opened up more about how they've been in business. Now, we quick to say, well, Black people can't work together, but then, like he say, we don't exemplify or we don't put a spotlight on those that that
do work.
broke
That
the
are working
stereotype,
together.
that are working the stereotype. We'll look for the stereotype before we look for
that
the
anti-type.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and so that's why I thought it was really good when I learned of those three things. So listen to this. So stereotypes, when you say that they fall under like schematics, there's a.
I would say yes. And here's a problem. Before in the schematics and the makeup and how everything look, and I'm gonna say that because I'm not a fan of the internet for entertainment. I understand people use it. The internet could be a great tool if used properly.
Yeah.
If used properly. Social media can be a great tool if used properly.
Yeah.
But, one of the stereotypes now, when you say you were talking about Black women, now you see men on the internet portraying Black women. What do they portray? You hardly ever see them portraying Black women in positive lights.
Right.
They're these.
Like, what do you mean? I'm saying
You see them on Facebook. They always
They got their
like a
wigs on.
comedy show or something.
It's like a skit.
Yeah, it's like a
Okay,
skit,
I
but
got you.
it's never anything that's
Positive.
in a positive light.
Oh, like
it brings all the
Jamie
negative.
Foxx when he does
Shanae,
Shanae.
Wanda.
Oh,
He does
okay.
Wanda.
Yeah.
Martin does Shanae. But yeah, still,
yeah.
and there's people on the internet that does that,
Okay.
and they're bringing, like that loudness, that overly made up,
Okay.
that aggressiveness, always want to
Aggressive.
fight, always want to
That's
drink,
right.
they're
About to
bringing,
take them earrings
yeah.
off.
So they're bringing those in. And when people start to, even in media, I'm just saying, when people start seeing these images, because we put them on repeat,
Yep.
we began to ingrain those and believe that those are the images, So that's why I say, in the schematics, not all Black women are like that, but you might have met 2 or 3 like that, but we'll blow up
10.
and we'll make
Right,
that,
and
the
whole.
Yes.
Okay, so with that in the schema, so let me just give you these 4 characteristics that they are. So how stereotypes could fall under these things. They are energy saving devices. You don't have to use too much of your energy, just stereotype it. They can be automatically activated. You don't got to think hard. It's auto. Because it's something I just did. Y'all was like, I was on auto. Y'all
Yes.
said that, right?
Yes.
Because that's how stereotypes
Yes.
are. They are stable and resistant to change. You agree with that?
I'm going to agree with that. You getting in my wheelhouse. I want to talk about that. Keep going.
I'm just saying, because people not trying to change how they've been
Yes.
stereotyping, and they affect people's behavior.
Yes.
Is that true? All 4 of
absolutely
those
true.
things are true.
That's absolutely true. And I'm gonna bring a different light of stereotyping in.
Okay.
And we did the
We get to
educated-
do that.
Yeah, we did.
We
the
talking about it
scholastic-
all.
We did the scholastic version of what stereotyping is.
A little bit.
Let's get real. Let's talk about real stereotyping. And I mentioned it when he fits this description. All stereotypes are based on some bias, race, or prejudice.
I was just going to ask you.
All
Man, you in my brain.
stereotypes
Get out of it.
are based on some negative. And you stated this. I don't take energy to look at a Black person and say he's a thug. I just avoid him.
Yeah.
I just avoid him. I don't need to get to know him. I'm resistant to change. I don't need to get to know him. I don't get to do this. I don't do this. That's how they are. All women this way. That woman that way. That way. He fits the description. If your description, your definition of either stereotyping or stereotypes, we can change that to a whole new phrase. And I wish I had
gonna
looked up
change it
to
too.
racial profiling. Stereotyping
It's racial
is racial profiling. Racial profiling is stereotypical at its core.
Yeah.
And that's where we are in this world. We don't look at anything. This election, if there was never, I mean on both sides, I'm not going to say on one side. You had to listen to the whole narratives. There were so many racial stereotypes on both sides. And that's how I work. And we accepted it. Some of us, again, lived in it. Some of us perpetuated it. Some of us caught on to it and grabbed on and moved forward with it. I mean, it's in our lingo. It's in our media. It's in. I talked about racism one time. I said it's in a handbook. It's in America's handbook. All of this is in America's handbook. Because think about it. Again, and I got to say this the best that I can.
That's okay.
And this is stereotyping, but
Keep
this
it
is
real.
realization. A young black person get killed on the street. It's just another nigga killing another nigga. The mayor got on TV when 2 white kids got killed and pleaded for the city to have mercy. But, you know, that's what I'm saying stereotypes is. These young black men killing young black men, oh, that's what they do. But when a young white man get killed by another young white, there's a problem in the city. There's been a problem in the city.
But I want
been a problem in the
for clarification,
Man.
the same mayor didn't say those two different things.
No, the mayor didn't say those different things.
Oh.
What I'm saying is, it's how it came about.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she said these.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
saying the presentation of it. And again, I don't. It's not against her. I'm just saying the how it looks. But the real is the real. We have a problem, and our society, our young black men really need to stop killing each other.
Yeah.
We need to
Correct.
stop making that
Facts.
stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Reality.
Yep.
Living in it.
Yeah,
and that's
we
why I
need to
was saying,
stop that.
why did some people choose
but
to
what
do
I'm
that?
saying is, so why when these two got killed, it was a problem in the city. Now it's been a problem in the city, and even us, we just accept it. We need to stop living in that stereotype.
I agree.
But all stereotypes have some basis of racism, some prejudice, or some exclusiveness in it.
Exactly.
Now, I'm gonna ask
Against
you a
a
question.
particular group.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think there are any type of good stereotype?
I can't say that because I do believe it's based on some kind of bias. What is your good stereotype?
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking
If
a
I
question.
had to force myself to pick one, it would be that certain people just look like they can cook. I'm just saying. Some people just look like.
Doc V. I can
You
do
look
that
like
one.
you can cook.
Because I've done that. I've done that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just because it look like they could cook don't mean
Don't
they
mean it.
Don't mean they can cook.
Don't mean it can happen.
Yeah, and so I mean that would definitely be one of them.
But also, and to answer your question, because Doc V mentioned it in her statement, is it's always putting people in categories so we can degradate people. We can put people and we can say, since they're like this, we can control them, or we can get another group that can control them or put them down, or we don't have to deal with them if we put them in these categories. So it's just instant. I see them. I don't have to deal with them.
Okay, so I got a question because we could go through some of the other ones. You know, blondes are, blondes are dumb or blondes have more fun. Black people rely on welfare more than everybody else. I already said black people can't swim, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, I dispel that. I
can too.
I can dispel that one.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying. So, this is just a couple, right?
Yes.
So we get it. And there's obviously other tons and tons and tons of other stereotypes. But
You swear me?
but
I used to be a lifeguard. Dude.
I can't. Here's the question: how and why should we dismantle stereotypes, harmful stereotypes?
You can't.
You can't.
I'm saying, why you
'Cause-
say that? But
because-
okay, just say right now we had to come up with a solution. What
There's-
would we do? How could we?
There's no solution
approach
to
it?
You can't approach it because guess what? Just like you said, you have autopilot.
Yeah,
You're gonna automatically boom. Society put people in places, stereotype people, and everybody in society lives up to that stereotype. So once again, I fit the description.
yeah, but
But here's the other part about that.
Okay.
Even now, you think I fit the description.
Yes. Because you
Look, and think about it.
and I got a prime example. Hold your thought. Yeah, I want to cut you off, but hold your thought, and I'm gonna prove this right because after 9/11, after 9/11, if you flew after 9/11,
You see
going to
anybody?
the airport, if
And
you
you
saw
saw a turban.
anybody with a turban,
My point
how
is
many
that
of y'all thought?
They-
I don't know what I'm
I'm getting off this.
exactly.
I'm being serious.
You're right.
Yeah,
You
I
absolutely. So once again, I fit the description. You're black, and you still think I fit the description.
Yeah, I'm gonna call 911 on you.
See?
I really am. You walking in my neighborhood?
I'm gonna ask you a
calling the
question.
po-po.
I'm gonna ask you a question. You see somebody walk down the street. It's a little chilly outside. Got on a hoodie. Dude ain't bothering nobody, but he have on all black. He got on all black. He got on a hoodie. What's your first thought process?
What if I'm in my car with my doors locked, or if I'm walking down the street next?
If you getting out your car.
You gonna sit in your car about 10 minutes to watch that brother walk. You gonna see everywhere that brother
But
walk.
can I say this? I don't care if he's black, white, or any
I'm
other
just
culture.
saying.
Yeah.
If he's coming
Okay.
down the street, with a
Okay,
hoodie
once again,
on,
guess
and
what that is?
That hoodie, that's
That is that hoodie. You don't care if he white, black, orange, purple, or blue, but guess what? He got that hoodie on. He got it up, and he's walking just like this. What are you going to
Mind
do?
his business.
And he ain't
I
paying
got
you
my
he ain't paying you not a bit of
I
attention.
get it.
So I mean,
But you saying we can't change this?
I would say I have to agree with Eve because the mindset has been set.
But we always talking about renewing your mind.
you can renew
So
your
we
mind all
can't-
day
we
you
can
want,
do it.
but guess what? You still gonna have that stereo. You can't turn it off.
Somebody said this to me just recently. Is that you're not going to be able to change or save everybody. So save and change who you can. So
that means there's a starting place to do
you
that.
can, yes, you can change certain people in the way that they see it, but to alleviate stereotypes or alleviate this, reason I say no in America, because, and E preaches this, until they change the Constitution, because it still says how less of a black man he is to anything else. So
Why you just saying he? I mean, you too. You ain't you black?
No, I'd say
Before
a
y'all
black
get
man?
into y'all debate about that,
Well, it depends on the day, huh?
before y'all get into that good stuff, and I know it's time for us to skedaddle, but I want to ask this question real quick. So, just because it's relevant, technology and AI, do you believe that it will raise more questioning when it comes to
it's already happened.
stereotyping?
You already,
the facial recognition.
Okay, so I want to
Facial
real
recognition.
quickly.
It says that in that facial recognition that it was a study. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. That they said like they had like 85% false positives when with black people in face recognition because they said our features they couldn't be picked up because of our like the nose mask. I mean, there was a lot of things. And
that's something we need to look into. Then
that's why facial recognition has not come into the fullness that it has.
That's what I was thinking. So I was thinking it has something to do with the algorithms. And
they tried to explain it, but they couldn't. It was just that some white man programmed it and didn't know what black features was, and they couldn't pick them up.
Okay, all right. So
pretty much. I mean, you just nailed that one.
So when it comes to the mental health and stereotyping and the effects that it has on people, how do you think it affects people from a mental perspective? And that's why I'm saying we should do something to try to change it, because it obviously has an effect in some way mentally.
Go ahead.
It affects black men big time.
Like
Yes, I
what?
was gonna
Let's talk. Let's real quick. I know we're out of
I'm
time.
finna-
Waving the flag at me.
It affects black men big time because simple fact, we have that simple fear now. I can't go in this neighborhood. I can't walk down this street. I can't drive this type of car.
Why? Because Karen is there.
You got Karen,
You
Okay.
got
but the most important thing is
Okay.
you have police.
yes.
That's a shame.
So the people that are sworn to protect and serve,
You have a fear of them.
we all do. And then we can't sit there and act like, well, I'm all right. I'm not scared. Yes, you are, because guess what? When you first time you see that police car go
You
this
start
way,
sweating.
you start sweating and you straighten up. I don't care what kind of license you got, you straighten up. You walking down the street and you see the police slow down, you get nervous. Because the simple fact, you don't know what they're finna jump out and do. And I don't care who's out here watching it and you think I'm lying. Honest to God, I have more fear for my son and my nephews than I have for myself.
That's true.
Wow.
And also
That's
with
heavy.
the mental health aspect is that black men are, stereotypically told that you can't show any weakness. You can't,
Right.
You can't.
Man, we should have hit on that one.
There can't be any chink
Harder.
in your armor. You have to always be strong. You got to carry the world on your shoulders. You got to carry it. But not every man is that strong. Not every man can carry that.
That's
So
true.
instead of the man that needs help going to get help, he's shamed. Why
Yeah.
you going to talk to somebody telling them your problem? So the stereotypes of black men going to get help. I mean, I think that's perpetuated a whole lot. If you need help, no matter black, white, red, yellow,
You
whatever,
need to ask.
go get your
And
help.
go get the
But
help. Get the help.
I think one of the stereotypes is that we don't need the help, but we shouldn't have that help, so we don't go get that help.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, man.
Ooh.
We should have hit on that one a little bit
There's,
harder.
I
'Cause
know,
that right there.
There's a lot of different angles that we could definitely hit on that. I'll just say this, since you guys talked about black men. One of the things I don't like is when people talk about black men that may stay at home, because sometimes people don't know why that person is at home. So they could be there. I'm just speaking from a personal perspective. They could be there caring for
They love
a
the
parent.
Right.
And it could be that they moved in to care for.
I know,
We
but-
got to have 4 more minutes. Hold on,
Oh, yeah, bring your mouth.
because here's what I'm saying. In the Chinese culture,
Ooh,
they can get married and they'll move in with their parents.
Yep.
And take care of their parents.
Okay.
But we as black people at 18, they got to be out the house.
House.
You got to be on your own. You got to be, and that's how we feel in a lot of generational things that could be built. Because and I say Chinese, that's stereotypical. I'm gonna say in the Asian culture, I'm gonna stand corrected. And there's an Asian culture that I'm gonna say that happens, that they move in and they take care of their parents. They move their wife in, and then they have kids, and they live generations in one house.
in one house.
We can't stay a week in a bed and breakfast together without having conflict.
I mean, I know even
That's true.
in some other cultures,
Yes.
they stay in the house until they're 27, 28, 30 years old. But if a brother do it, he a bum, he's weak.
All of the.
I mean, we get cut down so
yeah,
much.
I
in
don't. I don't care for
stereotype
that. I don't care for that
where it's
because
just unbelievable.
yeah,
I mean,
because
if-
sometimes that person is asked to come and take care of a
Yeah.
parent or a loved one, but people on the outside
To see him
they
preload.
stereotype.
Yeah.
So when I was asking, is there anything we can do as a society to help dismantle stereotyping? So one of the things I was thinking is to redirect ourselves when we begin to think a certain way.
Right. It starts with you.
It starts with us individually. And so I'll leave us with this because I don't want to throw the flag at us. Social justice against stereotyping is ongoing. It is multifaceted, and it requires active participation from individuals, communities, organizations, and the government. It emphasizes equity, respect, and the recognition of the inherent dignity of all individuals, aiming to create a society where stereotypes are dismantled and every person can thrive free from discrimination. And this is Neutral Voices. And we want to say thank you for hanging out with us. And as we always say before we exit,
Always protect your mind.
a podcast by Neutral Voices Media.
Count your opinions important, so you gotta speak out. Don't let your chance to be heard pass by. Spell out, let me hear you loud, proud. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Wake up. No time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices. We gon' deal with the issues.